Yeah. Speaking of a bandwagon, I'm the king of the bandwagoners. That's right. I got it going on, baby. Look out. 87 here to kick your ass tonight. Hey, we're brought to you by OddsJam, the premier odds comparison company for last-minute betting with the sports nuts. And believe me, I'm nuts today. I'm very nuts. Also brought to you by BetBucket. That's right, the BetBucket plays. 7-day free trial. Get in there. Let's go. What I always say, let's go. Let's make some money. Also, our Majestic Morsels with a 3-day free trial. Use code NUTS15 to get $15 off your first month. Get it for $10. And that's where we're at. That's what's up. And yes, I have a Chiefs jersey on because my grandson loves the Chiefs. And if he loves them, I love them. Plus, I like Taylor Swift.
Okay.
Why?
Huh?
So I wonder why.
Because she plays music and has musical ability. And I'm a musician, and I have been for for 50 years. So what do you want to? You want to do something about it?
No. You
really didn't see my GIF I sent you?
No.
Oh, okay. It was a Dracula from one of the Dracula movies. Okay. So the reason that I say this, folks, is because Justin was worried that he was going to come on here and I was just going to rip him up one side and down the other for the Jets. Horrendous loss, which put them in last place in their division. But you know what? Let's just see what Tristan has to say. Okay, and we're gonna listen to this stupid shit. Jeez. Okay. Overrated?
Wow.
Okay, so let me explain something to you, Tristan. Patrick Mahomes reached 30,000 yards faster than any quarterback in history. In 103 games, Matthew Stafford was 109, and Kurt Warner and Dan Marino, I think, were 113 or 111. One of those two. So those guys are like, that's probably everybody's going into the Hall of Fame that's done that. All right. How can you say, Mahomes?
Well, as a whole, he's not over. I mean, I don't, for his career, he's not overrated. Now, he's not having a great season this year. I mean, let's face it, he's benefiting from being on a pretty good team that's just.
How many times did Tom Brady get bailed out by his defense over the years?
Yeah, he did. It's
part of it,
It is. I understand that. He's he's got a head coach in Andy Reid who is, one of the best to do it. Yeah, we see that. But also, it always helps when you have a top tier defense like that. And, that's just what it is right now.
Before we get into the Jets,
they're the modern day New England Patriots.
Before we get into the Jets, let's talk about the ridiculous ending to the Bears. And I'm sure Eric, Mr. Heat, is just bumming. You talk about a guy, who's, I mean, he loves his Bears. That has to be so deflating. Tristan, it's so what? Big deal. They've been injured. They don't have the weapons they once had. You watch. I said when D-Hop came to the Chiefs that Kelsey would score, and by golly, he did. Browns won. There, Brendan.
Yeah, and how about Brendan's parlay?
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, hit a anytime touchdown. It was a tight end parlay. Made what, 2,400
off of a $5 free
bet.
After
a $5 bet. Yeah, I mean that's outstanding. Great. You can't beat.
That was great.
Yeah, you can't beat that.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm sure Brendan is stoked.
By the way, Kelsey, since you said he caught his first TD of the year, That is true. I actually picked that. That was in our majestic morsels. Thank you, Tristan, for pointing that out. All right. Let's get to the Bears and Commanders game. Has everybody seen the play now with Stevenson and his taunting the crowd? Is first off, I would cut that sumbitch in a hurry. I would fucking cut him. Gone.
Well,
Randall's with me on this.
Yeah. Well,
the
thing is it's not just one guy to blame in that situation. It's everybody involved. Yeah, he was taunting. He probably felt it was over. He's the one that I think technically may have tipped it, but somebody else.
Not technically. He's the one who tipped it.
I know, but there was 3 other guys there that could have tipped it somewhere else. It ended up,
He's the one who screwed up. He also, when the play was started, his back was to the play.
Yeah.
The ball had already been snapped.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm either fining his ass, suspending him, something. He needs, because he let his team down big time. Justin, I need an opinion here. Jump in here. Tell me.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That guy deserves all scrutiny that he gets. He deserves actually, I'd say, twice or even 4 times the amount of scrutiny as Jalen Reagor with the Chargers Cardinals game when he dropped that touchdown. I don't know why the hell we picked up Jalen Reagor, cut his, to the curb. Screw that guy. He's a loser. Get him off the team.
Well, this guy, they're going to want to keep him around because he's second-round draft choice.
First round, actually.
Well, I mean, look, Noah Brown did the right thing. He saw there was, a bunch of bodies going up for a jump ball, and he just says, I'm going to slip back behind it here, and it gets tipped right to him. You see that happen a lot. I don't know why teams don't prepare to say, hey, if a guy tries to slip, somebody's got to be responsible for a guy slipping behind you like that because he was just sitting there all alone, tipped right to him.
I know. Wonder who that could have been.
Well, it wouldn't have been Stevenson.
How do you know?
I don't, because he was on the other side of the field.
He ran towards the pack
after he saw the ball was going that way, but there was guys heading that direction initially, so he had to.
He was turned around the wrong way.
I do realize
that it happened.
I realize that, but
if he's there in the play, somebody's covering that kid, and it doesn't happen. Terrible play. That's
I mean, it was awful. Yeah, it was pathetic. I'm not defending him and saying he was in the that's just terrible for sure. But unfortunately, when you're in that situation, I feel like, man, everybody's to blame. How do you allow that to happen? I don't know.
Come on, Randall. What? The Saints are terrible.
Well, that's a bad loss for the Saints. Yeah.
And the Saints are Randall's team, so he has every right to rip them, I'd say, if he wants to.
Yeah, I mean, the Saints are not good. There's no 2 ways about that.
Speaking of ripping somebody's team, of course, I don't know which team he has, whether he's a Jets fan or a Chargers fan. So jump your ass. Your Saints suck. My Chiefs will whip your ass.
They already did. They already played.
But let's talk about the vaunted high flight. By the way, Devontae D-Hop said he went to sleep 1-5 and woke up 6-0. I think Devontae Adams, he went to sleep 2-5 and woke up 2-5. What the hell's going on here? They're 2-6. What is wrong with that team? Aaron Rodgers, what are you doing? Be a leader out there. You know what? There's problems in the locker room. I think people don't like your boy Rodgers.
Well, that's as far as it goes for the play. Yeah, I mean, I wish I could defend my guy and say it's all on the management or the team like it was the case with the Packers, but it's just not, unfortunately. And so I did not watch Red Zone yesterday or watch the highlights for the game because I was actually at the Bills Seahawks game yesterday. And but yeah, I did not get a chance to watch it. But
yeah, okay.
All I know is, that was like one of the worst losses I've seen from a football team in a long time. Dan Orlovsky put it perfectly on Get Up. He said this, like, there's only one team in the history of the NFL that has, what was it again? I think scored 20 points, did not give a turnover, and allowed 250 less rush yards to the opposing team. And lost. That's the Jets. The record is 750-1. And so it's impossible that the Jets lose that game. But somehow they did. Like, that is,
well,
that's
can I tell you
really
something?
bad.
It wasn't the coach's fault. Salah
Yeah.
shouldn't have been fired. That was bullshit.
I don't disagree there.
Adams gave the best speech Rodgers has ever heard. He doesn't want now. Randall, you jump ship. You used to be a Saints fan. Now you're not.
Oh, is he jumping ships now? Oh man.
Oh yeah.
No. He doesn't have a new favorite team. He's
he's a former Saints fan.
He just don't care to watch them anymore.
Well, okay. I mean,
guys, you're lucky you won a Super Bowl. Okay, let's get that straight right now. Okay. You ripped the hell out of, what you did. In the NFC Championship game, you beat the hell out of this guy, right?
They did, yeah.
You beat the hell out of him and had a bounty on him. And you know what?
He was an old man.
Yeah, and he was an old man. And he still almost won the game. The league is nonsense if you watch
Brett Favre does what Brett Favre will do sometimes, and that is throw an interception.
That's true. That's true.
I mean,
he'd been known for that.
He does do that. He does.
He
does
do
that
a lot. But anyway, back to the Jets. Jets are a mess. And for those of you who want to jump all over the Bills like they were a piece of crap team, get the heck out of here. Because, Randall's not betting another NFL game this year. He's already told me that. He's not betting another one.
Wow.
Yeah, I will. I'll be betting them all day long. If you were on the Cowboys yesterday, the Dallas Cowboys are a pathetic team.
Yeah.
And there was no way that the 49ers were going to 3-5, guys. I mean, it wasn't going to happen.
No, absolutely not. I mean, I don't think the 49ers are not going to the Super Bowl this year. I don't think there's no way. They've regressed, but yeah, I said that, there's no way the 49ers would lose to the Cowboys of all teams.
No, it wasn't going to happen. No, wasn't going to happen. Just wasn't. So anyway, little overview of what happened yesterday. Let's talk World Series, and let's talk. I'm going to talk somebody. You guys are going to give me crap because of my St. Louis ties here, but Tommy Edman has now done something that only Steve Garvey and Mookie Betts have done. You know what that is, Justin?
No, what's that?
7 multi-hit games in a postseason.
Oh, yeah. I didn't think of that.
Only 2 other players in baseball history have ever done that, Mookie Betts and Steve Garvey. And I hate to tell you this, but he may be – you could talk your Ohtani shit all you want to, Tristan. Tommy Edman may be on his way to an MVP in the World Series.
Maybe. So I'm not aware. So Ohtani got injured, and is he not coming back?
No, he's supposed to play tonight.
Okay, because I saw he was injured. I'm like, oh, they don't have him.
I didn't see your comment on Amari Cooper.
Well, Bob, I mean, the guy had one catch. I mean,
So,
let's not act like that Amari Cooper has just come in and dominated. And now here we go with the Bills.
Did I say dominated?
Did they beat a bad team?
I'm sorry, Mike. We're on to baseball now.
Yeah, well, they beat a derailing Seahawks team. Let's face it, Seattle's just really not that good of a team. I mean, they started off a little hot. Got off to a 2-3-0 start. You know, they beat Miami and Denver and New England.
Can I tell you what the Buffalo Bills are doing? The Buffalo Bills are doing what they're supposed to do.
What's
beat
that?
The teams are supposed to beat. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the way it is.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't jump their ass about that, and I think having Cooper on the field is going to open up more opportunities in that offense, including who was the tight end that scored yesterday? Was it Kincaid?
Kincaid.
Yeah. Watch out for that connection.
Yeah, no, I think Kincaid is actually pretty underrated. And yeah, that was awesome to see. I don't care what Randall thinks. I saw a Hall of Fame quarterback play live yesterday. That's, yeah. Put that
Shakir and Coleman, stepping up as well and have been even before Cooper got there. So,
part of having weapons, man. What did D-Hop do yesterday? A couple catches? Something like that. I mean, that's the way it's going to be. And these guys are adjusting to these offenses too. Come on.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if they're adjusting to the offense as much as just getting on the right page with the quarterback. I think that most of the offenses are similar enough that they can kind of jump in and be okay.
Randall, you're going to base Hall of Fame off of one game. Let me tell you something, bud. Did you see Steve Young play with Tampa Bay? Did you ever see that? No, you never saw him play with Tampa Bay. He was horrendous at times. One game does not make a career. Okay.
Yeah, what does Randall have against Josh Allen? I don't get it.
I don't know, man. He just got a problem with it. Doesn't really make sense. He's in here. He's feeding Mike. He's trying to feed Mike here. Trying to feed Mike some ammunition.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's like, okay, I get what, like, well, okay.
I see Hall of Fame. You said Hall of Fame. I think he'll be in there too, but, go ahead.
Well, Randall, I mean, okay. I don't even know why there needs to be an explanation here, honestly. I mean, like, in his third year, he came like that close to winning the MVP. And you can argue he played just as good as that or better in the other 2 or 3 seasons he was in the league. And this year, yeah, his stats are definitely not as good as they were, but his receivers are not there. It's a totally new team. His defense is not there. Like, no. Like, yeah, I could put, like, he's a future Hall of Famer. If he was to retire right now, I think you could still put him in the Hall of Fame.
All right, so here's what his career stats are. 24,469 yards, completion percentage 63.3, 181 TDs, 79 interceptions, a 93.2 rating. Pretty good start to a career. Got a long way to go. If he continues on this pace, he'll be in the Hall of Fame. Yep, sure will.
Yeah.
How you can deny that is beyond me. You must not watch it.
Not now. Not now. I don't know that he is. Obviously, if he never played another game, I don't know that he would get in the Hall of Fame. No.
Phillip Rivers didn't win a Super Bowl either. He's going into the Hall of Fame. Come on. It's not all about Super Bowls. It's that's the reason you get in there.
Let me ask Randall, is Dan Marino a Hall of Famer? Answer me that. If he is, then what are we talking about here?
All right. Randall's controlling the show from the chat. What the hell are you doing? If you want to control the show, big guy, get on the show.
I don't think D-Hop's a Hall of Famer. There's too many there's a lot of receivers that aren't in the Hall of Fame that I would take over DeAndre Hopkins.
No, I'd say Hopkins. Yeah. No, I'd say he's a Hall of Famer. The Texans were good when they had Watson Hopkins because of him. You
Is
took
Andre Johnson even in there yet?
Didn't he
I don't
just
think
go
he's in there. And he played for the same organization.
He just went in, didn't he?
If he did, he just went in.
You took
If
Hopkins.
He just went in.
You took Hopkins off that Texans team.
Yeah, he's in the Hall of Fame. He went in this year.
Okay, well,
Yeah,
so he just got in.
Yeah, in my opinion, if he's in there, then
So should
Hopkins
how about Steve Smith? Should Steve Smith be in? Because he's not, and I'd take him over DeAndre Hopkins. Give me Steve Smith over D-Hop for sure.
Well, I feel like
been to a Super Bowl with who was his quarterback? Jake Delhomme. Went to a Super Bowl with Jake Delhomme. I mean, he's got to be. That's the thing. These receivers, it may take a while for some of them. I think if Hopkins goes in, I mean, if Steve Smith and guys like that aren't in yet, that's not good. I mean, hell, it took Reggie Wayne a while to get in. It took a while to get in. There's no way D-Hop can go in before. I mean, he's in now.
Torrey Holt's still not in.
Torrey Holt's not in. I think Torrey Holt should be in for sure.
I think should have went in before Reggie Wayne. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
Maybe. But that's the worry with the receipt. I think he probably will get in. But if some of these other guys are going to have to wait many years, I don't think Hopkins is getting in as soon as you might think.
Let's talk a little Monday Night Football. This is not the matchup for the ages. Giants, Steelers. Do the Steelers cover tonight, Justin?
Yes. Okay. I would say so.
And the line right now is 6. Is that correct, or is it 6.5 now?
Last I checked, it was 6.5.
Okay, let me take a look here. I mean, obviously, we're looking in different books. Yeah, you can actually get 5.5 on FanDuel, but it's probably juiced. Actually, get minus 5.5 at minus 120 on FanDuel. Honestly, that's not a bad price. The line's 6.
Yep, I'd say if you're on FanDuel, that's what I'd be taking.
I mean, you have to jump a little bit on that. I think the Steelers win.
There's some pretty good receivers not in the Hall. I mean, Jimmy Smith could make a case, man. Jimmy Smith, 26 in NFL history in receptions, 25th in yards. I mean, that's pretty Hall of Fame work. I mean, you think of all the receivers when you're in the top 20-something of all time in those categories, catches and yards, you got to start wondering why he's not in.
I guess it's hard.
That does not define a Hall of Famer, okay? It's his overall, the breadth of his whole career, okay? It's not just about Super Bowl titles. That's the modern day. That's you young people thinking that. I hate to tell you this. The Hall of Fame committee, that's not the way they think.
Well, I think it's different with football than other sports because it is so team-oriented in the NFL. And, there's a lot that goes into it. I mean, sometimes the organization you're drafted into, some teams don't get to be drafted by the great organizations that are just consistently good and great and know how to run their teams. I mean, when you're drafted by organizations like the Browns, the Chargers, I mean, you're set up for disaster. Those organizations have not been Super Bowl winning.
How are you set up for disaster?
Look at how bad they've been ran.
Look at all the great players they've had.
No Super Bowls.
Forget about the history, man.
No Super Bowls, though, for any of them.
Super Bowl. That's not what sports is about completely. It's not just about the Super Bowl.
But your goal is to win the Super Bowl.
Right. But if you win, listen, Bob, if you are the quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers and win a Super Bowl, or you're a quarterback for the Chargers and win a Super Bowl, what's more impressive? To give the Steelers their 7th Super Bowl or 8th or however many, or to win a team that has never won a Super Bowl and has been known to choke and never be a quality organization in terms of
Dan Dierdorf was the number 1 tackle of the 1970s, made the all-decade team, never won a playoff game. It doesn't matter. When you're a great player, you're a great player.
Well, then, I mean,
not every great player wins a championship.
No, I understand that, but also when you do, my point is that winning a Super Bowl, sometimes when you're in the right situation. I mean, there's a reason Eli Manning didn't want to go to the Chargers, guys. There's a reason he did not want to go there. He did not trust that organization because they have historically been stupid, because Dean Spanos is one of the worst owners in all of football. Do your head thing, Bob. You know nothing about it.
John Elway didn't want to go to the Colts. That's why he went to Denver. Okay? So what?
Yeah. Smart move.
And you know what? Look at how long it took for Elway to win his Super Bowls. Go ahead, Justin.
Yeah, okay. Well, I do agree with you what you said, Bob. It's like, if you are a great player for a terrible organization, you will get recognition about how great you are. But the one thing I do agree with Mike on, which I have argued with you about, Bob, but I don't think you quite understand, is that situation matters. It's like you could, so LeBron James is a Hall of Fame player, right? You know, he didn't win a championship in his first stint with Cleveland, right? Because Cleveland has been known for being a terrible organization. Like, it happens. The owner is the one who is responsible for the GM. The GM is responsible for getting the players on the team. That matters. And sometimes bosses can be dictators. They can either be totally great for the organization, or it could plummet the organization.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a choice, do you want the Jets, the Chargers, the Browns? You want to get drafted by one of them 3 teams, or would you like to go to maybe Pittsburgh? Would you like to go to maybe Green Bay? Would you like to go to Denver, who's won some Super Bowls, or Kansas City? Or would you like to go to, a San Francisco team that you're going to have at least a chance? I know it's been a long time since they've won, but they've been to several Super Bowls in recent years. So it's like, I mean, that matters big time.
Everybody's a clown to you, Randall. Let me ask you a question. I'll tell you what. Come over to my house some time later on this week. Let's throw the football around. Let me see if you can throw the ball as good as Kurt Warner. Not the hell out of here. My God, now he's talking about Sam Darnold. Who gives a shit?
Well, no, he's finally in a good situation this year.
Yeah, and you're right. You're right.
Situations matter.
The point that nobody gets about guys that don't win,
that's why if Joe Burrow ever wins a Super Bowl with Cincinnati, that's going to be pretty big, because it's the freaking Bengals.
Can I at least get this thought out here, okay, without being interrupted? These guys that don't win are on teams that don't win championships. They're representing their team, the history of that team, all of the alumni from that team, the city. There is more important things than just winning a championship. Hello,
nobody
Eric?
says nobody. We understand that. Mr. Heat's in the building. The point is that sometimes you are drafted into shitty organizations and shitty situations. Look at baseball. Who in the hell wants to go play for a team that is just the White Sox? Does anybody want to go play for an organization like that? No.
I don't know if they're going to pay me $9 million a year. Yeah, I'll go.
Well, then you're not winning anything, Mo.
Okay, so that's fine.
You'll never win.
I'll be. You know what though? Frank Thomas will know who I am.
Yeah. Well,
You know,
great.
And so will Wilbur Wood and Hoyt Wilhelm and Bill Melton and Greg Luzinski. Oh, yeah, that's right. You don't know any White Sox players.
Well, no, that's how bad they've been for so long. You have to go way back in the freaking day to find anybody. I mean, they've historically over the last how many years have not been a great organization.
Randall, I beg to differ. I still think that even the modern athletes, although they are representing their brand, no two ways about it, still feel the pride in representing their city. I at least have seen it, and probably you see it more in the NHL than any other sport.
I actually, maybe you're right about the NHL, but I actually do got to agree with Randall on that. Like, the majority of the pro athletes that play in this generation, they care about their paycheck, winning, their social circle, their brand, and who's coming to bed with them at night. That's what they care about. They don't care about loyalty to a city or whatever that's just going to dump them after all the years.
Let's talk about this. Eric, jump in here with some comments, buddy. You have got to be beside yourself being a Bears fan today.
Yeah.
That's just got to be
100%.
That's got to be tearing you up. I mean, it sure would me. Just a horrible way to lose a game. And for that guy, I don't know about you, Eric. Eric, I want to know, I cut him from the team. What would you do? Yes, embarrassing. I mean, you know, does he get it? Does he get a pass? Oh, I agree with you. That now we're in total 100% agreement. Yeah. Something.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Something. Yeah, I got to do something.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to do something.
We all agree with that. All right. Let's get to the World Series now. This is game 3. This is a pivotal game. I mean, let's face it. Yankees lose, they're done. They're favored to win this game. It looks like the Dodgers are throwing a bullpen game tonight, which I don't know why. We have to have a bullpen game in the World Series. You don't have enough starters to make it through.
Well, once again, I've told you all year long, Los Angeles has had most of their rotation that they thought they were going to have throughout the season is not what they intended to be. They've had injuries and injuries and injuries. So, yeah, this is where we're at with it right now. And if you're the Yankees, this is your best chance tonight or tomorrow night or no, tonight.
I agree with Randall. You're setting a precedent for the behavior. It is not acceptable. Yes, I'm on with you. Yankees winning tonight. I like that.
Yeah, I think the series definitely doesn't end in 3. If you're MLB, you've waited all these years to have your New York and LA World Series commissioner was on the record saying, you know, oh, this is a great thing. We got the two of the biggest cities here, man, you know. Well, so far, not been a great World Series. I mean, it's not been that great. I know we had the walk-off grand slam. That was dramatic. But
I mean, come on. How is that great? Dude, come on.
If this thing ends in 4 games, it's going to be hard to consider this one of the greatest World Series you've ever seen. If it ends in 4 games.
Mike, it's a 3-2 game. The bottom of the 9th inning with the bases loaded, and the guy hits a walk-off grand slam. How can you get any better than that?
I mean, there's definitely ways you can. We've seen that stuff before.
You name me an inning.
We've seen.
On top of that, did you guys know this?
The Cubs and Indians when they were the Indians instead of the Guardians. Remember that World Series? That thing went 7 games. Do you remember what happened in Game 7? Went to extra innings. They were down to their final strikes too.
We're only in 2 games. Okay, we're 2 games into this.
Yeah, but if the Dodgers win tonight, it's 3-0.
You do realize
that, right?
You do realize that Freeman hit the home run 30-something years to the day, to the minute that Kirk Gibson hit the famous historic home run in the World Series, which, by the way, was in Game 1, and which, by the way, I think was a 5-game series.
It's a great moment. Here's what you're missing. You're misinterpreting a great moment for a great all-around series. If this thing is 3-0 by the end of tonight and the Dodgers are up 3 games to none, you won't be talking about this being one of the greatest World Series you've ever seen. You'll say it had one great moment.
Yankees win tonight.
They better.
Yeah, I agree with Mr. Heat on that. I mean, you'd be held accountable, but we would all want a second chance if we made a horrific mistake at our jobs or whatever it is,
Oh,
so,
yeah.
No, he should not get a pass at all. No, that's just uncalled for.
I wouldn't be giving it up. He's got to be fined or something.
Yeah, fined. I'd say fined, yes, but cut. Yeah, I think that's a little.
I'd cut his ass. I'm with Randall there. Get the hell out of here. I don't need your ass in my locker room. But yeah, that's just me. Accountability. Yeah, his apology on X. He said he was taking notes at the end of his X post. Taking notes. Come on.
Yeah, it's a little weird, but
you need to grow up, kid.
Well, yeah. I mean, again, I think I'm with Eric a little bit on the fact. I think I don't know that I would. I mean, if he's never been a problem before, and that's never been like his MO and what he is, he just had a moment where, I don't know that I would just blatantly cut him. Definitely something has to be done. And, but I mean, I don't know that I could just pull the plug on the guy and say, hey, you're out, one mistake. And I know it's a costly mistake, but again, I don't think you can just fault him on a Hail Mary.
We are old school there, man.
Eric says, well, I hate to work for you. Hey, I'm with you, Eric. I would give the guy, I would not cut him. Because once again, on a Hail Mary, there's no way one guy is to blame for that. On a 70-something yard heave,
oh my gosh,
one guy's not to blame.
Oh my gosh. He had his back to the line of scrimmage when the ball was snapped. That is total responsibility. He is completely out of the play. And he tried to recover and made a dumbass move. Oh, come on. You got to call it like it is, man. Come on, Mike.
Nah, well, I mean, everybody's to blame, in my opinion, for that.
Well,
with the trajectory of the ball, it was probably going to land on the fucking goal line. It would have never gotten to that 2 yards or 3 yards in the end zone, man. He caused the play. You're right. He tipped the pass. He caused that.
But that's what is that what they're told to do, though? Knock it down, right?
He didn't knock it down. He couldn't
tried
jump that
high.
His intent. He tried to because he was out of the play. He fucked up. He knew he fucked up. It was a panic situation. That's what happened. Come on. And if truth be told, if he sat down with them, if his coach would, I guarantee you, what do you think his position coach is doing?
I don't know. I know they're told to knock it down. So I think the more important thing is in that play, you see it so many times. Noah Brown he sees that's short of the goal line. Noah Brown knows that and says, I'm not going to jump in there and try to catch the ball on the 3-yard line, 2-yard line. I'm going to just slip back here behind it and see if it gets tipped back to me. And it did, because Noah Brown knew I'm not going to run in there and try to jump in there and grab it because I've got no shot. What I'm going to do is I'm going to slip and nobody goes with him. He's there all alone.
If the ball was just thrown and just landed, it probably would have landed on the ball.
But why doesn't somebody go slip behind with him? You know, when you
Well,
see that's a
once
jump
again,
ball at the 3-yard line, why doesn't somebody say, hold on, nuh-uh, you ain't getting that?
How do you know that kid isn't the one who that was his responsibility?
I can't imagine it was his responsibility on the other side of the field.
How is he on the what? He's on the other side of the field, Mike, because his back is to the play. He's out of the play. He's not even in the play. He did a panic move. That was a panic move to try to get back in the play. Justin, come on, jump in here. Bail me out.
Well, no, I've said what I believe should be said, which is unless you have been like never yelled at your life because you've been good at everything in your life, or you've got an easy way to life, or you've never made a mistake in your life, then you should put yourself in their shoes and say, okay, he deserves another chance. Like,
okay.
Fining, yes, he should be fined. He should be put in the film room and put in detention, absolutely. But to cut him, that's too far. That's all I'm saying.
That's not what we're talking about here. He was out of the play.
Right.
He is the cause for this ending happening. Completely out of the play, and then tries to recover and then tips the ball. You know, unfortunately, I know he tried to recover, but he didn't make it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Again, I just wonder if I'm coaching for that situation, I'm noticing that guys are deciding, hey, I'm not going to go try to get the jump ball in the scrum. A few of us are going to try to jump up and try to tip it back, you know, but Noah Brown knows where he's at. Even if I try to jump in there, I'm not getting in the end zone. I'm going to catch it and get taken down at the 3-yard line with the ball and be short. So he slips back. Nobody sees him or goes with. I mean, I think somebody has to go with him.
Saw him because Stevenson was running to cover his ass for being out of the play to begin with.
So you're saying that was Stevenson's guy? I don't know how you know that. I don't know how in the world you know that was his man.
He was free, and that guy was free.
So no, he was not. No.
You cover whatever's open, dude.
Noah Brown was right in the middle of that scrum, and then he just slipped right behind it because he knew it was going to be short.
Mike, the kid was out of the play.
I know.
Go watch the replay again. You'll agree.
I know what he did. He came all the way across and jumped in it. But if Noah Brown doesn't slip behind it, it don't matter. It's in the end zone with nobody, Bob.
Noah Brown, how many times have you really seen a Hail Mary where the guy is absolutely wide open?
AJ Green had it happen. He slipped behind everybody and caught it. Dude, I've seen this happen, man. Somebody has to take account for somebody getting behind all that. You can't just leave him there wide open, because if it does get tipped back, he's going to catch it wide open.
We're gonna have to agree to disagree, because I totally.
All right, well,
it's the kid's fault. He blew the game for him. You know,
just him.
I didn't say just him, but in that particular case, he's the one that screwed up the defense on that play. I mean, I don't know how you could say that.
So, but here's the thing:
when you're doing this and you're looking at the crowd and the ball snapped.
So, is there a possibility? Answer me this: is there a possibility, even if he doesn't jump in that play and tip it, that ball would have been tipped back to Brown anyway?
Probably not. Here's what's going to happen: it's probably going to land right around the goal line, because as the trajectory of the ball is coming down, you don't have to jump as far. And honestly, I think it probably just would have landed on the ground. I don't think anybody would have actually.
So how do you know that Washington and the design of that is to have the jump ball where you have it? And if you see, hey, it's short of the end zone, somebody slipped behind it so we can get a tip. And the offensive players know, hey, we aren't going to try to catch this ball at the 3-yard line. We're going to try to tip it back.
Randall's backing my ass up. He flew over and hit it. The other guys were not slapping at it. He's absolutely right. The kid is the reason that the play happened.
But what if one of the receivers for Washington?
What if, coulda, woulda, shoulda? Who gives a shit? This is what happened. Okay. And it's that kid was out of the play.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you right now, if you're going to allow a guy to slip behind a jump ball and be wide open, there's going to be a chance it gets tipped back to him anyways.
I'll tell you one thing right now.
I've seen it happen too many times. I watched AJ Green do the same thing.
I'll tell you one thing. Yeah, but I didn't see him do shit like that. The guy wasn't taunting Mike.
Well,
the kid was totally 199% wrong. He was out of the play. He was not facing the ball. He didn't realize it. I think one of his guys said, "Hey, they snapped it." Duh. I mean, come on. I'm sorry. This is Randall's got my back on this one.
I understand what you guys are saying. I don't know. I don't know though that.
Justin, you're too damn quiet. You don't ever jump into this shit. Why not? What the hell's wrong with you? You can't tell me. You tell me. I understand what you're saying about fines and everything. You tell me that kid didn't just destroy that game for the Bears.
Oh, absolutely, he did. Yeah, he did.
He screwed up. It was his fault, right?
Yeah. It's like it's a football game. Yeah.
Remember how when we go around and do picks and we say majority rules? Mike, majority rules.
Well, I don't think Mike is saying he didn't mess up either. He's just saying like circumstance happened. It's like
and a big problem again. A big problem is that these receivers somebody knows that if there's a jump ball like that, to not try to jump in there in the scrum, slip behind it, and the ball can get tipped to you. And if I'm a receiver, I guarantee the receiver is not trying to catch the ball there. He's trying to tip it back. I guarantee they talked about that. Like, hey, if this thing doesn't make it into the end zone and it's short, somebody's got to slip behind the play and hope for a tip.
Nobody could jump high enough to get that ball except for the kid who flew in there. Do you not understand the trajectory, the geometry behind it?
So where was the ball going to go if he didn't tip it, Bob? Where would it have ended up?
I think it probably would have landed
it wasn't going out of the end zone, was it?
No, he was going to probably.
It would have been in Noah Brown's hands wide open.
The goal line.
Because he was behind him. If it was going to go over them, then he would have caught it wide open.
He wasn't on the goal line, Mike. Okay.
Who?
Where did
Noah Brown catch that ball at? All alone in the end zone.
In the end zone.
Sure. So if it was going over, if it was going to go over their heads, he was going to catch it wide open then.
No, he wasn't. It was going to land on the goal line. They were right on the goal line, dude.
He wasn't 15 yards in the end zone, Bob. He was right by the goal line.
We got to go. You're talking nonsense.
No.
All right. NBA parlay, Magic, Knicks money line. We got no bets in today because you're trying to defend a stupid play. I can't believe you're doing that.
I'm not defending the play. You're missing everything I'm saying. This is all going over your head. You don't understand.
It's going under yours.
Well, it was the ball was going. According to you, the ball was on its way over.
I got one thing to say.
What?
We'll see you later.
It's got to hide your blue face.
Yeah.
My red face.